It's not easy to find funding for your company, and there are plenty of misconceptions about how to go about finding capital. In this video, we'll talk through 6 myths that entrepreneurs commonly ask me about when raising capital and asking about questions related to funding. Myth number 1, it takes a lot of money to finance a new business. This is false. One of the most important challenges any entrepreneur faces is having money for investment and growth. While starting a business may seem like an impossible task to those without capital, there are still plenty of ways one can get the funds necessary to start their business. Successful entrepreneurs who don't believe this myth design their businesses to work with little cash or take money from friends and family. They'll borrow instead of paying for things, they rent instead of buy, and they try at every corner to turn fixed costs into variable costs. And an example of this is paying people commissions instead of salaries, or by granting people who perform services to your company sweat equity instead of cash. Myth number 2, the only way to get funding is through venture capitalists. This is again false. Venture capital financing is the exception, not the norm among startups. Non-VC sources of financing are giving entrepreneurs as much choices as VC funds these days. For instance, angel investors, who are affluent individuals who invest smaller amounts of capital at an earlier stage than VCs do, fund more companies than VCs do, and their share is growing. Another source of startup investment is crowdfunding, where entrepreneurs raise small amounts of capital from large number of people in exchange for equity or non-equity rewards, such as products from the newly funded company. Myth number 3, if you don't know someone who knows an investor, it's impossible to find one. This is again false. There are many ways to find investors. One way is by word of mouth, talking to friends, family members, and colleagues for referrals. Another option is through an investor's website or LinkedIn profile page. If he or she has a bio section, it may mention the types of investments in which he or she prefers to invest. Third possibility involves researching potential investors online, reviewing their recent transaction on Crunchbase, which is a platform that aggregates information about startups, or checking out what they've written on Quora, a question and answer site. Myth number 4, investors want to see that you already have traction with customers or sales before they invest in your company. This is again false. Investors would like to see some customers or sales, but they are more likely looking for a compelling story behind your company and a fantastic leadership team. Investors are often investing in the potential of your company, so it's important to keep them excited about how your company can scale and address a large market opportunity. Myth number 5, you need to be in Silicon Valley or New York City for the best connections and access to VCs. Again, false. There are startups that get funding from investors all over the country. You can be in a smaller market and still raise capital with some great connections. The best opportunities for connecting to VCs are through events like conferences, networking groups, or introductions from other angel investors who have already invested in your company, if that was the case. When you find these opportunities, it's important to go into them prepared with answers on how you'll scale up if you do receive money from the funds, and what sets you and your company apart from competitors. Myth number 6, if an investor says no, they will never invest in your company again. False. There are many factors that go into whether or not VCs invest in companies, so it's important for entrepreneurs to take rejection with the perspective of the door isn't closed yet. You may be too early stage for them now, but if you update your pitch deck, refine your business model, or grow revenues, then maybe investors will see a more compelling case when they review it later on down the road.